What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again for another match preview as Champions League nights return to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow night against Villarreal in what is set to be a massive start to our Champions League campaign. Absolutely vital we do get off to a winning start at home to Villarreal with some massive games coming up. The Champions League is where it's at, and I'm all for it, and I'm absolutely delighted to be back in the competition. Joining me today to preview the game tomorrow, we've got Brains McLeod in the house. How are we doing, Brains? How are you feeling?
All good, man. It's all good. Positive days at Spurs. It's all trajectory is all in the right direction.
And that's a lot of what Romero's been saying as well. But before we get into that, we're going to get into all the quotes and all the predicted lineup. I just want to share the love and show some love to our sponsors, BetMate, who are sponsoring today's stream. Big up to them. Go and click on the QR code on screen right now and show them some love. We have a free pot code for tomorrow. We have a league which a lot of people have been getting involved with over the last few game weeks. This is my team for tomorrow's game against Villarreal. What BetMate is, it's a fantasy game which you can actually win real money. It's a 7-a-side. If you use your football knowledge, you can actually... There's real money to be won and up for grabs. £100 prize pool for tomorrow's free pot against Villarreal. My team, I've got Luis Jr. in goal, the Villarreal keeper, because in this game, for every save a keeper makes, they get a point. So I think he could be making a lot of saves tomorrow. So I went for him. Van de Ven and Romero at the back line, mainly because I wasn't sure what fullback's going to play for us. So I went for Van de Ven and Romero. Xavi Simons is my captain next to Rodrigo Bentancur, who I'm pretty sure is going to play tomorrow. It's interesting to note midfielders get points for tackles and interceptions, so Bentancur could be well in the points tomorrow. And up front, Richarlison and Brennan Johnson, two players who got rested on the weekend, who I've got a good feeling might be back in the team tomorrow. So that is my team. If you think you can beat me, you think get more points than me, there's £100 up for grabs. Join the free pot code for Tottenham versus Villarreal tomorrow with BetMate. If you're on the app, the pot code is WATTV-05 for the free pot code if you want to join, or you just click the QR code on screen right now and you get directed straight to the pot there tomorrow. It's a free-to-play pot, and there's £100 prize pool for tomorrow's pot. So go join in the fun, compete against me and Ben for £100, and big up to BetMate, our sponsors. Go show them some love. All right, now let's get back into the video. So, Gav, we're going to do a predicted lineup now. So the team news going into tomorrow's Champions League game is not much has changed. Dom Solanke's still injured, not available for tomorrow. He said he's moving in the right direction, whatever that means, but he's unavailable. He obviously still joins James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski, Radu Dragushin, Kota Taka and Yusuf Bissouma all being unavailable for tomorrow. What's interesting though and positive is Dragushin is now consistently training with the first team. I just watched a video today and he was back again with the first team training. Frank was pretty adamant it's probably going to be October, November time till we see him. So I wouldn't start getting excited about him being imminent, but it's very positive after that big injury. He is back training with the team. But yeah, still no Dom Solanke. Just a quick word on that. Brains, you know, Solanke was meant to be a little knock, and it was meant to be something that wasn't going to keep him out for, a significant period. I think even pre-season, he had a little knock, and then he was supposed to be playing, and then got delayed. Is this concerning you? You thinking is there more to it? Because Frank is playing it down, but what do you read into the situation?
Yeah, I think it's probably one of those innocuous injuries when a manager is playing it down and when a kind of medical staff are kind of watching it and it's going day to day. It's probably like tendon or something in the ankle, like maybe the bone, like there's kind of detachment or whatever. It's one of those ones where you can have a session and it can feel good, and then it's like 10 minutes after the session you're like struggling to walk on it or whatever. So it sounds like it is the ankle, right? Am I right in saying
ankle? Yeah.
The ankle thing, yeah. It's just a difficult one because it's sometimes when it's muscle, it's easier to see what it is and rehab it. But if it's ankle, it could be tendon, it could be like gristle in the bone connecting. So it's a tough one, man. It's just he's got the Richarlison syndrome, like no injuries, comes to us injured all the time,
Yeah, so. I mean, I really hope it's not serious. obviously we got Mwani in now, and we have Richarlison who's been stepping in pretty well. But we know Dom Solanke what he offers, so let's hope he gets back as soon as possible.
The thing is that it could be serious because normally with ankles, if it's just like not serious, you just strap it up and you can protect it. You can protect its movement. So it must be about pain.
Well, it sounds like the questions Frank was being asked and him as well. What he was responding, saying there's a possibility it might need surgery, but they're trying to avoid surgery. I know ankles can be quite difficult, especially when they get rolled and sometimes they don't fully heal. And look, I'm not a medical expert. Just full context, by the way, in our WhatsApp group, I always call Brains Dr. McLeod because he's the one I go to for medical advice. He's had many, many injuries in his long football career, so he knows what's what usually when it comes to injuries. It's just worrying that he's always playing it down, Frank, and then it keeps getting delayed and delayed. It's just a story that we saw last season, isn't it? Injuries initially being played down, and then all of a sudden it's been 3 months, and every week we're hearing, oh, it's just a knock, you won't be long. And then, 3 months later, we're still there.
Ankle injuries actually are a big part of calf strains as well. When the ankle's like turning or not connecting right, it pulls down on the calf nerve. So yeah, it's just something you can't actually mess around with it, especially for someone who like with kind of long legs who springs off it. He could just be getting like pain shooting into the ankle, and then you just don't know what you're going to do there. So it's like it'll affect his turning, it'll affect his touch, it'll affect the way he moves his ankle. Just taking the ball in. Yeah, it's a tough one. James Maddison had it for ages, didn't he? Like his ankle would just roll all the time.
All right, let's get into our predicted lineup, which is, I think not an easy one to predict considering all the changes we had on the weekend.
I've been trying to predict yours. Like I've been trying to predict
what I'm going to pick.
Not Frank's, yours.
Okay, so I think in goal we can all agree Vicario is going to be in, albeit, you'd like to think Kinski will get an opportunity at some point, but I don't think it's going to be tomorrow.
If he's not going to get an opportunity now, do you not think that's a bit of a bad sign? Because we've got this game, another game very soon after. Would it not be? I guess it's goalkeeper, so you don't really need to rest.
I think Doncaster he's going to come in, but it's a bit harsh, isn't it? He's going to get the cup games, but I just can't see Frank not picking Vicario. I think I think especially Champions League first night, we want that settled backline. I think.
Yeah. It's a good team as well. You can't really mess around.
Yeah, exactly. Villarreal, no mugs. They finished 5th last season in La Liga. All right, backline. I'm undecided on the fullbacks. Obviously, Spence and Porro played on the weekend. They've been our number one pairing so far this season. Played every game. Yeah. So the fact they've played every game, does that mean one of them maybe gets a rest here, or is the fact we want to keep that consistency? Obviously, Udogi's come on in the last 2 games, I believe, against West Ham and against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Came on, looked decent as well, I felt. So I don't think he'll have any qualms about putting him in, but it's all about who does he take out if one of them has to come out. Porro's obviously played a lot of football, but he just seems so resilient, doesn't he? He just seems to never get injured, never get tired. Spence doesn't seem... Look, he's playing well. I don't think he deserves to be dropped. But if you're going to bring in a doggy, who comes out? Or do we bring in him at all? Maybe he doesn't come in.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, you kind of do want players. There's not upsetting what you've got, but you also need good players to get starts and get big amounts of minutes, So I think you probably do have to bring Destiny in because you want him to get back up to the level of the other two, So I'd say he has to come in, and it's hard to take Porro out because he seems to be quite important to how we play out. So,
you think Spence maybe gets a rest in this one?
Yeah, and it really should be seen as a rest rather than anything else because he's so pivotal right now. So, yeah, I mean, my personal pick would be Spence to start, but then because he didn't play as many minutes, and so there is even though Porro seems to just he seems so durable, he can play forever, but he is playing a lot. Didn't he play 290s with Spain?
Yeah, for Spain, yeah.
It's a lot, man.
So it could be a good opportunity to rest him as well. Obviously, Brighton away on the weekend. But I also kind of feel like if there's an opportunity to play Spence and a doggy, I think Brighton away might be a better opportunity than this game.
Yeah.
So maybe I feel like he might play Porro and a doggy here with maybe Spence coming back in at right back potentially on Saturday. What do you reckon
Yeah.
about that? I
Yeah,
kind of like
no,
that idea.
I think that works.
Because Brian got great wingers. I think Villarreal got decent wide players, but I just feel like, but as you say, Porro's so vital to our build-up. I don't know if you want to lose him in this game.
Yeah.
But I do feel Doggy's going to come in, so we're going to go Spencer and Doggy at fullback. I think centre backs speak for themselves. Unless we're saying, is there any chance he goes to a back three in this one? Does he mix things up?
That was the
I know Villarreal play a 4-4-2 kind of system. So I'm trying to think, judging by their setup, would a back three give us any advantage there? Or is it just worth just sticking with the 4-3-3, outnumbering them in the middle?
Every time I think that he could go to a back three, I just think, but then he wouldn't have let, because that, you increase the amount of percentage chance of an injury to any one of three. So it's kind of like if you've sent Luka away and Kota's not ready, Dragison's not ready, you wouldn't risk it, right? It's like you either just play two. The other thing I was thinking of, does Danzo come in for either one of? He's not going to come in for Mickey because then what's Romero going to go on that side? Danzo, it seems too much This is why, like in the window, you were thinking like, oh, we could just we needed to get another left-sided player. So what is Davies come in? That's a bit much of a risk. I don't think you upset the apple cart just yet.
I kind of feel like Romero and Van der Ven will continue. I think that partnership's been working so well. It's such a big game as well. To get off to a winning start against Villarreal is going to be so vital. I don't think he's in a position to start picking and choosing with Danso in this one. I think Romero and Van der Ven
and you can
has
see
to come in.
The style of where they're positioning isn't really putting them through that much pressure to make extreme runs back and stuff. So I mean, touch wood, it's not that I can't see them get injuries, but so far so good, and the style of play being more accommodating to, prevent injuries, if you know what I mean.
Up against Nicolas Pepe, who's been playing up front recently for Villarreal, so that's going to be quite interesting. All right, midfield is an interesting one because
it's the hardest.
It's the hardest one because we have, in theory, 5 players in midfield who are all kind of undroppable at the moment. Paulinho, you can't really leave him out. Bentancur was left out on the weekend, so you're thinking, is he going to come back in for this one? I'm pretty sure he was left out so he could play on Tuesday. Yeah. Bergval, unbelievable performance against West Ham. You can't leave him out. Pape Sarr, you could argue, is our full midfielder. So how can you leave him out?
Yeah.
And then you've got Xavi Simons as well, who you kind of have to play him unless you play him on the wing. So how the hell are we supposed to pick a pivot out of those? And obviously we didn't even mention Archie Gray, who I don't think is probably going to play in this one, but he's obviously an option. Like, how are we supposed to pick a double pivot out of that? It's a massive game on tomorrow as well. I can tell you, Villarreal, they play usually Danny Parejo, who's like, a deep-lying sitting midfielder next to a Thomas Partey in midfield. So that's kind of how they play their 4-4-2. So, Partey, less said about him the better, but he's obviously a very physical midfielder who's, he bosses things in there. Parejo's less physical though, and he's one who, if you get legs around him, he might struggle to keep up, but he's obviously very good on the ball, so you want to just shut him down very quickly, making sure he's not able to spread those passes. So judge with that, do you want a little bit of creativity? Do you put a Bergval next to a Bentancur or Paulinho? Do you do what we've done in the big games, which is Paulinho next to Bentancur, and it's kind of worked to good effect? How do you assess it?
Because I think I see it from a point of view of, when you saw the training footage of everything they were doing with Simmons, it was like, oh, well, wow, they're really drilling to bring him centrally to get on the half turn. And then you see the game West Ham, you're like, what was that all about? But so they're going to work on stuff. It doesn't mean they have to do that on the weekend. Like they have to have a long-term plan. So, but then do you go first Champions League game? Is this the game you all of a sudden put him central? Then if you're going to put him central, you have to put really strong players behind him. So probably Bentancur and Paulinho, so that they can split and make the holes through the centre front pick of the ball. So it's too much to put him in central now, because then you have to leave out Bergval or Sarr. So it seems, a little bit more safer, not just pragmatic, but just while they get the system right, while they get Colo up to speed, while they get the attack working, it's still there's so many variables on how this system, this attacking system is going to work that it's something they need to work towards rather than like throw Xavi into the deep end right now, drop your on form players. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff to mess up, you know? So I can't see him as much as I want him, and I'd be tempted to put Palhinha and Bentancur in the same game, but I just can't see it happening.
So you feel like it's Palhinha and Bentancur together?
No, unless that's only if you're going to put Simmons in.
But I think Bentancur is definitely going to start. I just got a feeling.
Yeah.
I think he's the one because he got left out. I think he got left out, so he will start this game, and he's been a big player for us. So it's about the makeup of the other two, and then maybe even the left winger comes into it. If we don't, well, we know Johnson didn't play on the weekend. Does that mean he's going to start?
I mean, yeah. So he's most likely going to start. But
then Simmons has to play, surely. You're saying Simmons on the bench?
I think he has to play, but I think it's most likely that they probably will have him on the left again, which is probably not where we want to see him. It's probably not where he or even Frank wants to see him, but it's just like right now, when you've got like Sarr playing the way he is or Bergvall playing the way he is, you can't really just go back to a lower double pivot and then have Simmons there because you change so much, you know. And maybe you're ready. Maybe they're ready to change it right now, but I think it's a little early. You know, you want to see that change be gradual.
But I also kind of feel like the fact they play a 4-4-2, could it not be the perfect time to play a Simmons essentially? Because maybe you got that little outnumbering in the middle. If could he start finding pockets of space, kind of behind those two kind of pivots? Especially given that Danny Parejo isn't the most physical as well, so he might struggle to cover ground. If you get, two midfielders next to Simmons. Like, I think that could really benefit us in that kind of formation.
Well, this is what I mean. Like, if you're Frank and you go, let's. I think we're ready for it now, because you kind of like offset some risk if you put Bentancur and Palhinha, or even Bentancur and Sarr or Bergvall to be like that, the lower double pivot. Then they'll kind of protect and create the lines through. For Simmons to come in as the central midfielder. It's the risk in, is the system ready to play it yet? But it counteracts by having strong lower double pivots. So I want to see it. I'd love to see it. It's just, who do you put next to Bentancur? Do you go for Palhinha as being the safest? Or do you go for Bergvall or Sarr? Sarr's also played a lot of minutes as well.
He has. He started every game so far this season, I think.
And international, didn't he play like 90s?
And he scored 2 goals as well on international duty. Oh god, this is so hard. It could really be any combination, couldn't it?
When has it been this? Because this is a good problem to have. When's the last time we actually had a squad of really good players to pick?
Yeah, which is where it's this hard to pick. I can't remember.
This is getting difficult now.
I feel like in a perfect world, I would want like Bergvall next to him with a Simmons in front and just like really take it to him, because I feel like if they're going to play a double pivot with Partey and Parejo, then I kind of feel like if they're going to play like that, unless they change it up, then if Bergvall's going to attract one of their attentions, then all of a sudden Simmons surely is going to have a lot of space to play into, and you've got Bentancur there with a bit of solidity. Like, we could really have the legs over them and the solidity over them as well. So I feel like that could really work. But then again, it is risking being a bit it's just a bit being a bit weak in the middle. You're risking it. But I don't know if they're going to play Parejo in the middle against us in a just a 2 with a 4-4-2, not even with a 10 in front of him. I'm like, that's surely something we can exploit.
Yeah.
Like, surely we shouldn't need to have to overpower them. We can just overrun them.
So who do you go for next to Bentancur if it's between, say,
Bergvall or Sarr?
Yeah, say it's between those two. Who do you go for?
I think Sarr's a safer one, just because he's going to do the running and he's going to get back in position. He can overrun them. But I think the right one might be Bergvall, just so you get that ability to get a player in the pivot, to play on the half turn, play it forward, link up with Simmons.
Bergvall,
but so is Sarr.
I know. It's very difficult. It's like, it's a good situation, but
God, Sarr or Bergvall? What do you reckon in the chat? What are people saying? Is any?
And this will be the big decision that will get scrutinized if it's wrong as well.
I think because it's, you know what? I think because it's opening game, I reckon he might go a bit safer. So I reckon let's get Sarr there, Sarr in the pivot. So I think we're going to go Xavi Simons in the middle, in the 10.
Okay. Now this opens up a lot for the wings now. This kind of makes
I
it
think I think I think Kudos probably plays on the right. I'm guessing. I don't think we
Oh,
change
so
that.
okay. So you're definitely not going to leave Kudus out.
You think you
So
might
you
leave him
think-
out?
It's just I think the more start on the other side. 'Cause I think. Do you think Colo gets a start here, or do you
Kylo
think
Moani.
he comes on? Yeah.
I think he
Comes
does
on.
say he said he's ready to play 90 minutes if we need him to. I don't know the wording he said it if we need him to. I don't know. It kind of feels
Yeah.
like
You think
Is
maybe he comes on for like 30 or something?
yeah,
Give him
exactly.
25,
I
30.
think he comes off the bench. I think Brennan was rested on the weekend. I kind of feel like he comes back in. If we're saying Simons comes in off the into centre, I do think Brennan probably starts off the left. Although it was a problem when we had the Brennan Kudus dynamic against Bournemouth,
Yeah.
but maybe with Simmons there, that can alleviate it a bit.
But this is just all about how, because we've been surprised a few times with starting lineups from Frank so far. We've thought, like, wow, didn't expect him to start, Tell against West Ham as the centre forward,
Yeah.
Like, so
Could be Odebear as well. Someone says Odebear could play on
you've
that
got
side.
Odebear. I think you've got. It's interesting because Johnson still scores goals. He still is just very good at putting the ball in the net. So it's like you're trying to predict. It's like you're trying to predict what system they've got. But man, I would love. You've got limited time as well with Colm. He's on loan. I would love to see Colomlani go in, but then it's like, do you just throw him in ahead
Straight
of
in.
Odebear, Johnson? It's another good
Depends how he's
situation.
doing in training, isn't it? Yeah, and he seems to have been playing some wider positions as well in training. I've seen, so definitely something to take note. I get the feeling he's not going to chuck him in from the start. That's just the feeling I get. Unless, look, he might have been so good, he feels like, look, this guy's great, we can just chuck him in, and he's going to be an upgrade.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, if you're not going to throw him in now, you're not going to throw him in the Prem. It's like he's definitely going to play. He's got to get minutes in this game. He's got to, or else what are we doing? He's a fit, really strong player. Big
So
name player,
I guess the question is, was Brennan, did he not play on the weekend to play in this game, or just because he wasn't good against Bournemouth? I guess it's the question.
I think Johnson will get minutes as well. It's just
So let's throw Colo in. Fuck it, let's do it.
going all out.
Colo's going on the left hand side. I want to see that. I think Kudus has to play on the right.
Yeah.
I think Kudus has to play there, and I think obviously that leaves Richarlison up front, who did it again. Another player who he said was rested on the weekend because he had a lot of travelling time in Brazil. So I mean, look at that front four: Kudus, Simmons, Moani, and Richarlison. You got the likes of Odebear, Johnson. Well, Tell's not going to be on the bench, but Bergval, all on the bench. So a lot of talent there as well to change up. It really shows you the options we have. When even though we still got Kulusevski and Madison and Solanke all injured as well. So it's incredible, isn't it? I'm really like the look of that team.
Next 2 seasons is huge to like what we'll be able to do attacking wise. It's just going to take a bit of time to get it where it's at. Like all these, you think about how much potential and all the discussions of who could play where. This is it. Anyone you pick changes the dynamic of how it plays. So there's so much to figure out. It's going to take him quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I think Frank's still new in it, isn't he?
There's no better way to test things than in the game.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that is our predicted lineup. Just run through it quickly. Vicare in goal, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Udogi along the back line. Sarr and Bentancur in the middle with Kudus, Simons, Moani supporting Richarlison up front. Brains, if that is the lineup, what's your score prediction?
I think we'll. I'm probably going to go for a 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah,
Confident.
yeah. And I think Simmons and Simmons and Richarlison to get on the score sheet.
Simmons and Richarlison. I like the way you think. I'm going to go. I don't want to be pessimistic. I do get a feeling that this is Frank. It's Frank's first game in the Champions League. It's
Yeah.
like when we played a team similar, maybe similar quality against Bournemouth, we did struggle a bit. I don't think we'll lose, but I feel like it's not going to be a rollover. I reckon I can see it being a draw, like a 1-1. I think it's going to be a difficult game, which, look, wouldn't be a great result, but draw first game, it's not the end of the world. I just get a feeling, I don't know, look, I'll be very impressed if we win tomorrow and win comfortably, considering Frank is all new. It's all new to him.
Yeah.
To be honest, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we cope with all of that. All right, how much time you got left? You got like 8 minutes? Is that?
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, all right. So let's jump right into the match preview for tomorrow. As we said, it is Frank's first ever Champions League game. He said in his press conference today he is super excited to be managing in his first Champions League game. He said it's going to get real for him when he hears that Champions League music for the first time. How big of a game is it for you? Is tomorrow opening game in the Champions League? It's our, we've got a fairly kind set of fixtures, but this is obviously one of the tougher ones. It being one of the top La Liga teams, albeit it's at home. Like, how important is it for you that we get off to a winning start tomorrow?
I think it's so important for just the momentum. Like it's not like this isn't a throwaway game in any way. And lose, it doesn't mean anything too big, but I just think it means a lot for momentum. And I think that's something as I think he would be focused on. Get through this game, get a positive, get a clean sheet. These are big things you'd probably be like wanting to take away from it. And I just look at how stable he's made our defense, and I kind of feel like we've been quite attacking in that predicted lineup. I feel like he'll probably lean on his defensive stability because I think that's what he's got right now. I don't think, because the attacking options are all kind of new to him, and I just think what he knows 100% is his ability to defend, So I can see us catching them on the break. I can see us playing through. I can see us like drawing them into a deep trap, and then playing through them. I can see us big time where I think options and potential comes from: set pieces, long throws, corners. We just look like we've got an idea of what we're doing, right? Like
we look threatening. We look like against West Ham, each corner looked like there was a big opportunity for us to score. We obviously scored one which was ruled out unfairly. Then we ended up scoring another one in the second half. But, there was some that led to goalmouth scrambles that could have gone either way. And it seems as though we're definitely, improving very quickly from that aspect. And we saw it in pre-season as well, didn't we?
Yeah. And that trend is something that's happening big in the Prem. Like set pieces they're saying like it's huge percentile that you're going to score from a set piece. You've seen a lot of it already. Long throws are hugely on the trend because I think it got undervalued and people stopped doing it. But like, why not toss the ball into a dangerous area and see what happens? We're seeing like own goals coming from it. We're seeing like the melee because everyone's trying to protect the goalkeeper. And what that does is it makes it hard for the goalkeeper because he can't get to the ball because his own players are shielding him. So it's going to hit someone and go in. Like it's just. You can steal goals by doing that. Is that happening in La Liga? Is that a world trend? It's not. It's a Prem trend. It's and also this Prem trend of now we're sucking in and playing long over the top. It's kind of like
drawing in the press baiting
and going long. And when everyone would have been looking at the Prem last season before, going, like don't even worry about these they're all playing out crazy from the back. And at first it kind of looks like we're doing that, and then bang, it's just long ball. And then if you can get us on the front foot in the way that we like to press, is a La Liga side going to be ready for that intensity? And that's where I see there's keys to us.
Yeah,
So
and I think, look, if you look at our kind of squad and our players at the moment, I'm comparing it to Villarreal. Villarreal have got a lot of good players, and don't get me wrong, but we definitely shouldn't be fearing them. Like, I think they finished fifth last season. They're currently fourth, so they're clearly a competent side, but definitely we should be taking the game to them. We shouldn't be going into this game thinking we're inferior in any way, despite the fact last season you could argue Villarreal, you know, they finished way higher and things like that. I think, albeit we are playing a good La Liga side, I think tomorrow with the fans behind us under the lights, Champions League night at the Tottenham Stadium, I'm so excited about the prospect of Spurs having that spring in their step tomorrow, like having the crowd behind them, and apparently there's going to be a tifo tomorrow before the game as well. I don't know if you know much about Villarreal, but how do you anticipate maybe what kind of a test they're going to give us? Do you think, you know, a lot of fans I think are going to go into this game fairly confident, considering I know we lost to Bournemouth, we won 3 out of 4 games, and we've played some good sides like PSG and City. We've, you know, dealt with them pretty well. So what kind of a test do you envisage? Is it going to be more like those games, or more like maybe the Bournemouth game? Or are Villarreal, despite being fourth in La Liga, are they more like a mid-table Premier League side? How do you see it?
yeah, I think their strengths have always been in Europe. Fair enough, more kind of like Europa League, etc. Like, did he ever really do that well in the Champions League? They'll get to like later stages, but like, so I think it is an opportunity to take points, to take 3 points. But I just think, if the players home being at home and having that atmosphere, like lighting a fire under us, you know, I just think if the players just take their kind of league form in, knowing that you play in the most intense, hard league in the world, like I've never thought of Villarreal as a super tall, strong team. You know, I just thought they've always been very clever the way they play in and out. You know, like they break lanes. They're always been like a really clever attacking team. The way they cut through. So I think if we're defensively strong, and I think do not lose a goal inside the first 20. Keep it. I'd be happy to go 0-0 at half time, just because I think as the game wears on, our kind of strength and having, you know, strong players who can like weigh on players, I think that's gonna like drain them out, and then I think one goal will like kind of break them a bit, you know. So it's worth kind of, you know, being a bit pragmatic to the start, you know, and then start kind of doing things like suck them in, press bait, and then counter. And this is where when you've got players like Richarlison, I think Richarlison, if he starts, I think he's going to be so vital because of how much stress he can put on the centre backs, and kind of almost in a distraction method, you know, like get the ball to him, little touch to the side to Xavi, and then like cut through and get your wingers in behind. I think that way of playing, especially as they've got like that tight 2 in the centre, you know, try get them into a press, cut right through, maybe to Richarlison or whoever to come deep, or Simmons to get on the ball on the turn. I think on the counter, I think we can cause them a lot of problems. So it's just whether or not we can hold strong, because I think if that veneer of strength gets cracked inside 20, then you're talking about a team who does have a history of Europe, who you know pretty confident. Then it's going to be an interesting game.
Darren Fletcher, who's a TNT sports commentator, he said that Spurs are his dark horses for the Champions League, because he's looked at the way they played against PSG and against Man City, against some really top teams, and he said, look, if they can play like that in some knockout games, and you know, maybe when they play at home, they take the game to them, that could be a real recipe for success. Like, what do you feel about Spurs potentially being dark horses for this competition?
Oh, I mean, I'm trying not to even think about it like that. I mean, like low key, I do have confidence that we'll get to quarters and maybe semis. Like I feel like we've got that run that, you know, kind of it kind of lines it up for us. But it's just, I do want it to like go into every game just going, kind of back yourself, but don't go in it cockily. You know, like go in, just let's get this one, get 3 points, just get this one out of the way, win this one, and keep moving on. Because essentially, if you look, we take that when we saw the run of games we were going to have, like, you would have taken it all day long. There is some tough games there, but you think we should be coming out with enough points to be top eight, you know? So yeah, but I don't want to get too cocky. It's the games that we think we're going to smash the team is
Yeah.
probably going to be the banana peels, you know?
Exactly.
So,
City away, you're like, oh, we'll probably get lucky to get away with a draw in this game. We go and smash them, and then Bournemouth at home, everyone's confident.
yeah,
We've just been City, nothing to fear, and that
yeah.
was again we came unstuck, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just don't like coming to our ground. The fear I have about this game is that Villarreal kind of throw a Hail Mary in and maybe sit for a bit and then try to catch us on the counter.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's the only thing, because you don't think that they're going to play possum. You think they're going to try bring it to us, you know. So I would be more comfortable with us holding firm, sit and drawing them in. But if they make us try break them down, I can see the players getting anxious. I can see the crowd getting anxious. If we go to like 70, 80 minutes and we're still trying to break them down, that could be a long night.
How do you feel like our experience last season in the Europa League, going all the way, lifting that trophy, how will that help us, you reckon, in the Champions League this season? Just to have that confidence that I know it's a different level. These are better teams, but just a confidence that we're winners. We know how to get over the line now. We've been there. We've done it. Even get in European competition as well. Do you think like when it comes to the Champions League this season, that experience is going to be invaluable?
I think where it does really help is partnerships. Like Van de Ven and Romero know that them together doesn't really result in goals. Like scored against. Like the amount of clean sheets that they're starting to rack up will make them so strong, and then everything can build out from there. I think as a squad, knowing that you went through such a hard time, and then when it mattered, you're always able to get in front of the ball, get behind the ball, and see out results. So like if things get tough and needed, we can do the dirty work. So that's where the bottom line confidence comes from. But then it's a case of like, obviously we're early days in building a system to go and murder teams. We're not there yet, but like we haven't even needed to. So that's another good thing for confidence of like, let's start this campaign out, just get through games strong. That's why I'm saying clean sheets. Clean sheets are like injections of steroids in a whole squad, because it means they can't beat us. Now we just have to use that confidence, build a system of how to, by the knockout stages, be able to murder teams, But you can't do that if you're losing games. That was the problem with Ange. Like, we could murder teams for goals, but we were soft at the back. We'd lose games easily. So now that we're kind of defensively solid, that's a good platform to build attacking, smooth football. And I think, just listening to Thomas Frank talking to Carrick the other day, like that video they released, that was so telling. That just to hear like they are just human. Like they have their anxieties. But for how much Thomas Frank's looking forward to the game, I think it's a big opportunity for him to kind of, like use pragmatism in the right way until the right time, and then go for it, because you still have to go for it. You still have to have that ability. That's what we're saying with the lineup, that as much as you have to be pragmatic in your strength, you still do have to go for it. So that's why that's why I was like, yeah, it'd be interesting to see Colo. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Simmons in the center.
And it's great as well, the signings we've made, as you say, Kudus, Simmons, Paulinho, Moani, all got Champions League experience. So you don't have to be worried about throwing them straight in, even though it's a new team and stuff. But like the fact they've played at this level before, this is nothing new to them. They won't be fazed by the fact it's Champions League. Like a lot of our players in the squad, I know, like a Doggy, maybe Brennan, there'll be a few of them that maybe haven't played at this level. Van de Ven.
Yeah.
So a few of them, Bergval. So it's a new term, but it's great to have these new signings brought into the squad with this experience behind them. So when we play these big games like tomorrow, even though it's our first game, like, yes, we're a young team, but we're a team that a lot of these players have been there before. So we have a mix of players who've got Champions League experience, and a lot of them as well have got trophy-winning European experience. So hopefully that blend really, really helps going into tomorrow night. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about having Champions League nights back at the Tottenham Stadium. I think that is something that we've obviously been missed. And I think in terms of qualifying, like, given the set of fixtures we've got, are you thinking we have to get top 8 off the back of that? We have to get into that, or are you still thinking, look, if we get into top whatever it is, top 24, that's fine?
No, I think see how the first 4 go, but like I think that should be the aim is to be finishing in the top 8, because then I
Yeah,
think what that does for the draw into the next, it's too big an opportunity to get like a nice, obviously not there's nothing easy as soon as you get into quarters and semis, but you'd rather the favorable side, And I just think confidence-wise, if you're in that top 8, you go in confident, like we are like in the top 8 best teams here, So you don't want to eke through at any point here. You don't want to like just get into the 24 and think, oh, we're kind of muscled through that one, but we're lucky to get through that one. Go and win games, Go and be strong and win games. I
exactly.
think, yeah, I think he is the right manager. Just like hearing the way he thinks about it and talks about it. The only problem that I worry about is that he doesn't do long-term planning, and that is something that good managers do, tournament managers do, is they kind of like see that, oh, there's a big game, fourth game is it's a huge game, so by then I kind of want the rotation working. He
Hmm.
doesn't think like that at all. He was saying about it's game by game, but the problem with that is when you get 3 games a week, you get
Yeah, you
very
need
little time
sometimes
to think.
sometimes you need to rely on the things you can fall back on when you don't
Yeah.
have the time to prepare and the
This will
quick
be the
turnovers.
huge test for Thomas Frank will be how little time now when he talks about his schedule game to the next game and how he kind of it is stressful. You have hardly any time. It's like throw an extra game in the middle
Yeah.
of that, and it's just how this is his first time that he's going to be
Hmm.
dealing with 3 games a week. That's not a small thing. That's a huge thing. His whole method might change now, or be put
And
under
and
scrutiny.
people forget, well, not last season, but I think the season before, like Brentford also had an injury crisis, and I think they
Yeah,
finished 16th that year. Obviously, he kept them up. Fair play to him. I'm just saying, like that happened even without playing 2 games a week. So that's obviously something we've just got to be wary of. But look, I think he has the squad to cope. I'm
yeah,
thinking at the moment. Like I think he would love the squad that we have, and I think we have enough to cope with Champions League, Premier League switching up. I just think it's going to take a bit of time so that everyone is getting used to how we need to play when they're in the team. I think right now he has been rotating, but it's still a bit stodgy. Like I think
yeah,
build up's a bit stodgy at the moment. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we're too quite reliant on scoring from set pieces, creating chances in that
Yeah.
way. So I think that's fine. That will improve over time, and once everyone gets up to speed when they're on the pitch, what they need to do, and once Frank instills how he wants to play in possession and stuff, that's going to improve. But right now, I guess he's just got to make sure we're defensively solid, and when we get those chances, either in transition or from a set piece or a bit of magic, that's kind of how we got to move forward. And like rotating at the moment, it's difficult, but that's what a big club has to do. We can't play the same team every game, can we? And that
Yeah.
consistency will come out. But I think
And that's
that's
what I mean by the trouble of when you have like only like a day or 2 days. There's so much has to happen between one game to another. So much stuff has to happen. Briefs, the breakdown, like how to plan training in between, how to give some recovery, not how to not overload players. There's so much that has to happen that when you throw a game in between that, it gets really difficult. And so you can't afford to have long-term thinking. And so what then the biggest thing that you risk at that point is you don't get every player up to speed in terms of their physicality. So say, look, I can see a little bit of a problem being Archie Gray. So if you're looking to not get him minutes, it's going to be a problem eventually because there's going to be injuries and he's going to have to come in and be boom right on time and pace of the game. And it's like, well, this is what you didn't see long term was you needed everyone up to speed. You can't build a squad to play in 3 or 4 competitions if you're going to have too much priority on, well, Paulina's got to play there, Bentancur's got to play. Like you're going to have to, at some point, you are going to have to, give minutes to say if Archie's going to be one of the players who's going to rotate in the six. You're going to have to risk that at some point and then hope that he has a good 20 minutes or something that you can do it again and again and then start using him and the kind of cups and stuff like that. So that's the thing about like when he did say about his method, I did go, that's the one place where an Ange in a tournament is a little bit better because he sees it like a long-term thing. Um, and obviously there's like better examples of that. But like Unai Emery is a classic example of how he'll like manage an entire, knowing that a tournament is a long thing, you know. But it's still there's a few unanswerables there. But I've never felt like this kind of kind of confident in a manager just in how sensible he looks at things, you know. So I kind of feel quite confident that, you know, if he get there's a big if here, but if he gets through this one like unscathed in a 2-0 win, I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
that'd be huge for him as well. Like just him knowing, look, I can manage at this level. Like I know I've managed in the Premier League, but I'm this is where I belong. And as much as people praise him and stuff, at the end of the day, until you're in that job, right, of managing a Champions League club and a big club like Tottenham, you don't really know. He can do all he can at Brentford and do the great job he done, but you know, other managers. Look, this is no slight on Frank, but other managers have done great jobs at smaller clubs, and when they're asked to make the jump, they can't do it. So look, now he's here, he's in the hot seat. This is his moment, and I think tomorrow's gonna. Look, it's not do or die tomorrow, but it's gonna, I guess, tell us a bit. You're going to learn a bit about him and about how he can manage these situations, how he can manage at this level. And that's going to be really, really exciting to see, I think, for him. And I'm very excited for him. And look, I'm confident we're going to do well tomorrow.
What was your score prediction?
I said 1-1 only because I think I don't think we're there yet where we can just beat these teams easily, you know, like teams like Villarreal, like. Yeah. Just like without thinking, like I know we beat Man City. The other two teams we beat are Burnley and West Ham, who, let's be honest, are not great. When we played against a team like Bournemouth, who have had the same manager for a few years, but like a team we expect to beat, we struggled massively. So I think we are going to have some struggles tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be like I don't think it's going to be like a Bournemouth performance. I think it's going to be quite even, and I think. I reckon they may take the lead and we might equalise. It might be a bit of a slower game, but I just got the feeling tomorrow it's going to be a difficult game for us. And I know it's Frank's first game of the Champions League. It's still quite early on in his tenure, so I'm not expecting us to just roll them over. I know we've beaten good teams, but I don't know if we're quite there yet where we're just rolling teams over in the Champions League. Like I still think it's going to be a struggle. So I've gone for 1-1, but I mean, look, if we win, I think that's going to tell me a lot. If we win comfortably, that is going to tell me a lot. And that's what I'm hoping for.
So you're saying we win, you're like, we're winning it all.
Well, that's it.
We're winning it all.
Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, nothing can stop us. Maybe Darren Fletcher was right. But look, Brains, I know you're short for time, so appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on and previewing the game. Where are you watching it tomorrow? Anywhere special or?
No, I'm just going to watch it at Fred's place.
Fred's place. Nice. And everyone's invited? Open invite?
Well, I mean, you guys
to the 850 people watching.
Who are you in the studio? Who are you in the studio with?
Me and Ashmatic, yeah.
Yeah, I do like studio nights with Ash. You lads and Ash. That's always
you've got an open invite, Brains. You know that. You've got an open invite. You know that. Appreciate your time, mate. But look, we'll see you tomorrow for the big watch-on against Villarreal. Champions League nights are back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's absolutely buzzing for that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.